All right, so hey everyone, welcome to the No Pitch Upsell Workshop, how to make more on every inspection without being salesy. I'm Carla, your host. With me are Suzie, she's got the upsell strategies, and Kaitlyn, who will show you how Spectora makes them simple in the software. Our goal today is to help you feel confident offering add-on services right when clients book an inspection. So here's the deal. You don't need more inspections to make more money. You just need smarter ones. Today, we'll show you practical ways to add revenue to every inspection without extra bookings and without awkward sales pitches, because no one likes that. So think of this workshop as a shortcut, helping your clients protect their biggest investment while boosting your bottom line. That's the heart of the no pitch approach. So here is our roadmap for today. Suzie will start with why upsells matter and share 3 bundle strategies you can start using right away. Then Kaitlyn will walk you through how Spectora supports upsells inside your workflow and give you a live demo. We'll wrap the workshop up with action steps, a preview of the free toolkit, and set aside some time for Q&A. While we're presenting, please use the Q&A box for questions and the chat for general comments during the session. And you'll find both of those towards the bottom of your screen. So there's a webinar chat and then a Q&A. Please certainly use both. We want you engaged in getting the most out of this workshop. At the end of the session, we will take some time to answer some of the questions from the Q&A. So that is all from me. I'll pass it along to Suzie to kick things off.
As you've seen, being inspectors, you know that you've seen a shift in the market the past couple years. Buyers are asking a lot more questions, margins are tighter, and inspections often have been undervalued, treated as just another hurdle to clear before closing, a box to check, instead of treating it as the critical safeguard that they really are. But thankfully, there has been a change. So the data is showing that the fees are rising and clients are expecting thorough quality inspections. And this is exactly why upsells matter. They give you way more reason to add value for your clients. They protect the client and they improve your bottom line. You help your client avoid costly surprises so that they can walk away with confidence and peace of mind. Let's do some math and let the numbers do the talking. So imagine that you add just one add-on service to 10 inspections per month. That's not a lot of inspections. So we're just doing an even number just to play around and see what we come up with here. So let's say the service is 125. That seems to meet kind of like a basic service amount for some of the ancillary services like radon and termites, wind mitts, things like that. Yours might be a little higher, a little lower, but we'll play around with that number. So if you do that times 10, that's $1,250 in extra revenue every month. And then if you bring that over a year, you get 15,000. And now it's starting to look pretty nice. So, and that's all without having to gain another client or add more appointments to your calendar. That's just building on your existing appointments that you have. So that's the power of upsells. In this slide, I'm showing some stats from one of our inspectors, and they earned 15,000 more in just 6 months by doing add-on services. So that's pretty cool. And you can see it there. And that's all without adding additional appointments to their calendar. So here's the kicker. Inspection fees are on the rise. The average went from $449, we'll say $450 in 2022 to $485 in 2024. So that's an 8% jump. What does that tell us? Clients already value inspections more than they did a few years ago. That's a momentum that you can build on. They're expecting thoroughness and peace of mind. And if you're not offering add-ons, you're leaving both money and that extra trust on the table. So potentially you could be losing future business to inspectors that do offer more. So let's talk about the bundles. The bundle psychology. What is it all about? How do you offer upsells without sounding like that late night infomercial? The answer is make bundles. First, make it easy for your clients. They've already been through a lot and getting through to this part of the buying process. They might have a little decision fatigue. We recommend packaging up your bundles of related services with clear, client-friendly bundle names that kind of connect to them. So first, you'll show them off at the top of your website pricing page. And then further down the page, you can include your standalone pricing. So this is basically your initial upsell. You're not actually doing it, your website is doing it for you. So that's kind of like the first step. So while this is just an example, I will tell you a great website goes a long way. And if you need a website, we actually build them in case you didn't know, or give us a chat and we'll work with you to build your website. And we can also create this kind of page for you with bundles. So next, you might be thinking, okay, so maybe when they're online, they don't book a bundle through online scheduling. Or maybe they don't even use online scheduling and they actually call your office. The next thing to do is to get prepared for any situation. And that is best done when you pair each bundle with a simple script, something that you can just memorize and feel confident about. So that way, when you are in person, or if you're over the phone, you or your office, they can have it down pat. You're not reinventing the wheel on the spot. It's very familiar, it feels natural and professional. You basically are framing things as part of you doing the job. You're not really doing a sales pitch. And that way you can come across as a trusted advisor, because that's what you are, and not a salesperson. So today, in this webinar, we're going to dig into that. This workshop is about 3 no-pitch bundles. We'll have some names and scripts that you can literally start using tomorrow if you like. Our first bundle is called the Peace of Mind package. So that combines radon testing, a sewer scope, and mold testing. So why those 3? Because together they cover the biggest hidden high dollar surprises that can blow up a deal later on. And if you don't offer one of these, like maybe you don't do sewer scope, for example, but you do offer pest inspections, you can always swap it out. Or let's say you find somebody who does do sewer scopes, you can always have somebody book a bundle, but then you contract out using that third party partner, if you will. So a lot of people do that so they can still offer these bundles and still advertise that they do all these services. We also have a simple script that you could use over the phone or in person. We've got a couple of these in the toolkit that you get for free by joining this webinar. So this is just an example of how you might be able to talk about the peace of mind package. So a client comes over and let's just say they get a regular home inspection and you're at the job. You can say, hey, this is an older home and older homes are definitely at higher risk for things that could be high dollar surprises later on. While I'm here, I can upgrade you to the peace of mind package, and that covers your radon, mold, and you'll get that sewer scope plumbing check. And that's it. If you notice, I'm not really selling, I'm kind of just educating and framing it as a service. And while I'm here, I could do that. It's more protecting their investment. So it feels more natural and not pushy. And then we'll also do the bundle 2. That is the first time home buyer package. And I'm sure you all have a lot of first time home buyers. They're usually a little nervous, often overwhelmed, and just trying to figure out what home ownership really means. So this is where the bundle shines. So in this bundle, we've got thermal imaging, and it catches issues that they'd never notice on their own. There's radon testing, and of course, this is regional. So if it's not in your area, you wouldn't add this, but in this area where I live, it is a no-brainer. And then also in this package, we've got the guided walkthrough. So it's kind of like home ownership 101, and you'll literally walk them through the home, pointing out what matters most. We've also got maintenance tips, and this gives them the confidence to take care of their home long after closing. So here's a little example of what you could use to pitch this bundle. Since this is your first home, I recommend getting the first time home buyer bundle because it includes thermal scan to uncover hidden issues. We also have the radon testing included, and that checks for invisible odorless gas. It can be very harmful, and there's a lot of it in this area. Plus, there's a homeowner 101 walkthrough, I'll take you through the house and I'll show you things like the water shutoffs, where to find the HVAC filter, how to change it, basic things to watch for, and I'll give you some maintenance tips that you can rely on after you move in. And then you would have your pricing there. It's this much, but it gives you a clear roadmap so nothing catches you off guard later down the road. When I'm talking to the buyer, I'm not technically selling. I'm basically informing them and understanding where they are as a new homeowner. And then the third bundle that we've got to show you today is the Investor's Edge bundle. Now, this is for repeat investors. These clients aren't emotional buyers. They don't need a lot of hand-holding. What they want is speed, clarity, and risk management. So that's why this bundle combines, but we've got the walk and talk, the 4-point inspection, and that helps them meet insurance needs, and then lender requirements, and then the roof certification. And that's one of the most high cost areas of the home. So this package specifically is for a quick turnaround package. It reduces their risk and keeps the deals moving forward without slowing them down. A way to pitch it, you could say, for investors, we recommend the Investor's Edge package. It's streamlined, it covers the biggest risk areas, roofs, systems, structure, and it gives you what you need to close quickly. So there's not a lot of extras when we're talking about that one. It's just about giving these investors efficiency and protection. So there's a lot you can do with bundles. I've got another one that just came up when we were creating this webinar. So Kaitlyn, props to her. She came up with this new construction bundle, which I really love. This one would include thermal imaging, a sewer scope, and 11-month warranty inspection. Why, you say? Because even brand new homes can hide issues. And then that 11-month warranty inspection is a golden opportunity before the builder's coverage runs out. And it continues that customer relationship 11 months out. The bigger picture here is that the possibilities are endless when it comes to bundles. We're giving you these 3 bundles today, or 4 really, just to keep it simple, inspire ideas of what can fit with your services, your market, and your clients. You can think about things like seasonal bundles, regional risks like the radon in my area. You can also think about certain client types. Instead of pushing extras, you're creating custom packages that meet real needs. You're going out there anyways, you might as well make it count. And in the end, it actually benefits the client too. So it's like a win-win. All right, we've got this lovely diagram here that Carla made. So this will help you decide certain things like, hey, somebody is getting a home inspection. Maybe they didn't choose the bundle. Maybe the full package doesn't apply. What add-ons do apply? You don't have to overthink it. You can just basically go down here, built before 1980. You can see certain recommendations there. So I would take a look and use this when you're out there inspecting, or if you're taking a booking over the phone. So the golden rule, if 2 or more of these apply, then you go to the bundle. That way you're not guessing, you're just kind of following the process. But one thing we need to do is actually shift gears on over to Kaitlyn, and she is going to show how Spectora makes upsells even easier to implement with different features and things that it offers. So Kaitlyn, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Suzie.
You're welcome.
So yes, I spend a majority of my day helping inspectors upsell their additional services. So I want to take a second and show you where these opportunities actually live in your current workflow. So in Spectora, there are 3 main touch points. One is your online scheduler. This is where clients can choose what services and add-ons they want when they initially book with you. Then there's the internal scheduler, where your office staff can add services if someone is inquiring about them by phone or email. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is the client portal. This is where clients can actually add on services later, even after booking, as long as you have set them up as available for upselling in your services and fees. Each of these is an opportunity for your clients to say yes without ever feeling like you're a used car salesman. So yes, kind of jumping over into Spectora Advanced, it really helps you take it further. With automations, you can send reminders and prompts that encourage clients to add upsells on their own. lots of the times what I will see is that it's not so much of a disinterest in the additional services that you provide, but they just don't know what they're signing up for. And so by using Spectora Advanced, you allow the system to do the educating for your clients and the nudging so that you don't have to do the pushing. This is what makes upselling feel seamless, and it's even built into your normal workflow already. Now I'm going to kind of jump in. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you different pieces of this process in Spectora. So first I want to show you this. This is the client or the online scheduler. This is what will allow your clients to book online. This is typically the first touch point after the website that they will see. They can add the services they want, and they'll see the additional services that are offered from you as well. Next is going to be, this is the internal scheduler. This is what you and your office staff have access to. You can add on those additional services here as they're inquiring about them by phone or email. And lastly is that client portal. And so once you confirm the inspection and that they will get access to a page like this where they can review all their documents and agreements, payment, everything like that, they will also see this kind of button on the first page of their screen that allow them to learn more about the additional services you provide. What I typically recommend is this is the description section that is associated with this certain add-on. You can go in and actually talk to people about what a radon test is and what you're testing for and why, and what are the details of your mold inspection. So that's a really great way to upsell, like I said, without it feeling clunky. And to kind of show you just a snippet of what some of those advanced automations actually look like, this is an example of one of our presets that we've already built for you. So this is a radon upselling email. And what it will actually look like when you actually send the email is it looks like this. And so when somebody qualifies to receive this email, they will get to add on those additional services from the email that you send. And it looks like this. So that is, and if you have any questions about any of these processes, please drop them in that Q&A box. We can talk to you a little bit more about that. But
Awesome.
it is, yeah, all meant to feel natural and easy, not like a ton of extra steps added. So now I'll kind of pass it on to Suzie to talk about some other inspectors we've seen who have had success in this area.
There are inspectors that have been doing this already with the system for quite some time. We've got this one inspector, Dylan Morgan. Shout out to Dylan. He adds radon to every single inspection and he just bakes it right into the price. So that's another kind of format that you could use for bundling. We've got another inspector that pulls in an extra $600 a month just by consistently offering just one or two services. And then we also have folks that go beyond the inspection by offering seasonal check-ins. So get your house ready for winter. We've got the spring readiness package. So it's not just a one-time transactional hire, it continues on. And all these are just real world wins that prove small, consistent changes can stack up and just give you big results. So I know what you're all thinking. Okay, that sounds great. But how do I start doing it without reinventing the wheel? Well, good news. We've got this toolkit that I've mentioned a couple times. I'm going to let Carla share a little bit more about what's in this awesome toolkit so you all can just know a little bit more. So Carla, tell us about the toolkit.
I would love to, Susie. Thank you. Am I unmuted? Okay. All right. Back to this presentation. So yes, the toolkit. So you guys attended what you'll get for attending today's workshop with us. The toolkit includes a pricing cheat sheet with industry service ranges, so you know exactly where to start. Ready to use scripts that you can use in a conversation or a text or an email with no awkward selling required. Client-friendly service names that make upsells feel natural, not technical or pushy. And a decision tree, which we already showed you some of that, that takes the guesswork out of which services to recommend. We've basically included everything that you need to start offering upsells and add-on services into one simple package. So you can put this into practice immediately after this workshop and start making money immediately, more money. With the cheat sheet, scripts, and decision tree in hand, you will have all the tools to elevate your client experience and grow your business. So it's a Q&A time, and this is how we wanted to kind of wrap it up. We did have some questions come in the chat and in the Q&A. We also had some questions ahead of today's session. So that's why you see on this slide some resources already. So we had people asking questions about where they could go for thermal radon and mold. So we added the resources here for ProLab, Monroe Infrared, and NRPP and AARST for radon testing. There were questions on where would they find out more information about Spectora or how to build relationships with realtors or just growing their business. And there are tons of great resources on Spec. If you're not already subscribed to Spectora's YouTube channel, you should subscribe because there are tons of great videos. I host the podcast on their Spectora Spotlight, and that has a lot of good information too. In fact, some of the specific questions were in a couple of my last two sessions, but there's tons of resources on there. Definitely recommend subscribing so you see when new stuff comes out. And also the Spectora users group on Facebook. That is a really good place to answer some or ask some of the questions that you're asking here and just see from other inspectors in that group how they have dealt with some of these challenges or what they've done in their business. So I would start with some of these resources, and we can start with answering some questions that came in. So if we wanted to get this set up today, could you guys help us like coordinating the price, adding the web page and the actions, etc.? Yes, this is certainly something that, and again, the toolkit that you'll get from this session will help with the pricing. If you have a website with Spectora, or if you're a HomeGauge user and have a website with HomeGauge, we can certainly help you in getting this information added to your website. Again, that's going to be the most kind of natural way to sell it, honestly, because you're already showing people, everyone is looking for a home inspector online. So when they go to your website and they see a package, for one, am a sucker for packages. So if I'm going to look for a service somewhere and they're like, well, it's this amount here, but then you want to add this on, I am the add-on person. Like I want all of those. I'm like, I want the whole bundle. So showing that you offer that, it also sets you apart from your competitors who don't, and people feel like they have to puzzle piece something together. So just having that information there is just the easiest possible way. So the answer to that question, anonymous attendee, is yes. We can certainly help you get that set up, and you can contact either the web or the support teams at either HomeGauge or Spectora, depending on which software you use.
If you're with Spectora, your account manager also will be a great resource. Yeah, and Kaitlyn over here, she does a lot of that.
So yes, emailing your account manager to start getting the ball rolling is yes, that would be the right thing to do. And yes, I can share the links right now to this chat. I'm trying to grab those links real quick. Is there a way to know who is booking the inspection, whether you are the agent or the buyer? That way, if it's the buyer, we can ask if they grant permission to share the information with the agent.
Yeah, so this is all like if you're using Spectora, this is probably how I would build it out. Is that and you can take a look at this. We if you want to send the support center, Carla, yes, in the chat, so you can look up this, but it's called a custom field. And so this is where you can have your clients check the box who is the one scheduling the inspection and collect the information that way. So it's called custom fields. It's under your scheduling tools. So you can find some more information about that in our support center articles, which if Carla, you did not send it, I can go ahead and also send that in the chat.
It looks like we've got one here from Natalie, who is a wonderful inspector.
Natalie and Shannon Russell, if they're still here. Hey guys.
Hey Natalie, and you're asking if the templates are going to be compatible with HomeGauge, and yes, so these are just kind of like suggested bundles, and you can build them out in HomeGauge in your services as well. So they apply that way too. HomeGauge doesn't have that kind of upsell feature in the client portal as Spectora does, and it doesn't have the built-out automations where you can send an email if somebody did not book a radon or a WinMit. We don't have that in HomeGauge, so that's just some of the differences that you'll see here with Spectora. It just has a little bit more of a robust experience to really lock in those add-ons.
Well, I've answered all from the Q&A, and then we just kind of moved over to the webinar chat. There were some that came through at registration when people registered and some questions that they had. One of those was how, and this, maybe it hasn't been asked again because we might have answered it, but how to present a bundle without feeling like you're selling it. And I would just say, that I think this webinar covered that, but just a quick little part. So when you're positioning yourself as the customer's advocate, instead of, saying, do you want mold testing? Say, many homes here have moisture issues. A quick test now could save you a lot of money later. And that is just educating, normalizing, and reminding them that most clients choose those services. So it feels like protection and not a sales pitch. It's what words you're choosing and the angle that you're using in order to present these. Another question at registration was, what are the top 3 ancillary services? And most inspectors see the same 3 at the top, and that's radon and sewer scope and mold. So they're high impact because they uncover hidden expensive issues, and they're risk reducers, not extras, right? So it's about protecting their investment and the making that shift of, like, in your brain, it's an add-on, but when you're presenting it to them, it's that the peace of mind for them having these answers is what is making all the difference.
Yes. Carla, kind of piggybacking off of what you said too, in response to the other question, I also see a lot of people add like radon heat maps of their state or in their area to their upselling emails, or just attached to their different services to really show people, that this is where, like, take a look at where you're located on the map, but this is a map, and that's been really powerful for a lot of inspectors I've worked with.
Certainly another thing that you can do for your website, like if you do, which you should, if you start offering bundles and you add it to your website, that's a perfect time to add a little blurb with more information about why you should get, why a radon test is necessary, because it's a odorless, colorless, deadly gas that, is everywhere. Well, most everywhere. Do not hold me to that. I know there's going to be someone here that's like, there actually isn't radon where I am. So it's lots and lots of places. So it's an opportunity to educate, even to help them buy the bundle. And again, it's seen as helpful. It's like, a radon test is just kind of essential. And it's a really, so anyway, use your website, use where you're sharing this information to tell them why these things are important, because even though ultimately it's going to improve your bottom line, it also is, at the end of the day, protecting your clients and upfront giving them information that is super helpful when purchasing a home or a property.
Looks like we got another question in here. Okay. About, for Spectora Advance, there are presets for individual add-ons. Is there a way to have one preset for multiple add-ons, say both WDI and sewer?
This question is asking, like, what if I want to upsell multiple items in one email? Yeah, so that we don't have a preset specifically for that, but it is something I absolutely recommend because we do not want your clients to get email fatigue. And so what I see some people do is they'll create an action, but you'll just copy and paste over from the other presets. So if you want to upsell, you said, oh yeah, termite and sewer, then you'll just adjust the phrasing a little bit in the email, copy and paste the, why consider termite and why consider sewer. And then you'll just add a rule in there saying that the inspection did not include either of those. If you're happy with it, you can set it to active, or you can send it over my way, or I guess your account manager, whoever that might be. Just let them know that you want to set up a meeting and they can fact check everything for you or help you set up those actions. Possible.
Well, I'm gonna in 1 minute answer one more question that came in at registration, which was asking about price shoppers. Since there's not another one here, I'm gonna do it really fast. So just to remind you, you'll never win by being the cheapest. Someone is always going to undercut but what you can win on is value. So when someone asks, why are you $50 more, point to what they get, which is same-day reports, bundled services, modern software, clear communication. If someone only cares about the lowest price, let them walk. Your clients are the ones who want the best protection, not the cheapest option, and those are your people.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for showing up for our webinar.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye. Have a
Bye.
great day, everybody.